Hi guys, UFO Mike Cody. I'm going to show you a UFO encounter that I had just a couple days ago. There are these very big, just enormous glowing spheres that can also be discs. They've been very, very luminous, a lot of size, and the real UFOs like these are quite incredible because although they're big and bright, you can, in rare occasions, you'll see them disappear as if they're just dematerializing right in front of your face. So let me go ahead and show you this video one. So here it is. I'm catching it. It is nighttime. Just blown away. Really just blown away. And there's a tree to the right, and what this does is I'm trying to give you guys a reference point that you see it is moving. It's moving along. It's getting away from the tree. And it's going so slow, as if it's like it's looking at me, And it's not a plane. Planes will always have green light, a red light on each of the wings, and they will have at least one or two, maybe more white flashing lights. So it's very easy to distinguish that. So it moves so slow. It just caught me off guard. At first, I just thought it was a star from a distance, but then when I saw it just ever so slightly, look at the tree. It's going to start getting a little bit further. Look how slow it is, just gliding along. And it was really low to the ground. Really low. And it's getting further and further away from the tree. And I was like, oh my goodness, here it is. This was close. And in really rare occasions, if you're lucky, you'll actually see it dematerialize, which is a very strange phenomenon. But I did see this the other day, and as you can see, I can already tell for me because of the noise. See the noise? Look at that. But it goes through two UFOs, then it disappears. So that makes it even more special. It really does. That makes it more special. Go back to the beginning one more time, and there it is. So let me see if I can just pause it. This was a little different. There's not a lot of blue in this one. Oh man, sorry. There's not a lot of blue in this at all, and it was almost like a pinkish color. And it's completely, like a sphere. And these things are just so bright. And, I think it's easy for people to mistake these as a plane, but you can just take a look at the way it glows. It's just something that's not really organic from this world. It just isn't. It's just beautiful. I wish I could take you guys with me when I see these things and experience it for yourself. This was very personal, very low to the ground. I don't always get that, Sometimes they're kind of high up, but it's closer this time. And yeah, pinkish, little hints of orange, a little bit of a red spectrum. But my thing was seeing this fly between two other UFOs, and the second it flew past those two other UFOs that were paired up and entangled. See how slow they move? They don't move fast. Okay, it's not a plane. And I'm like, wow, this thing actually, it's losing its mass and its luminosity way too rapid. Way so close. I'm like, why is this losing luminosity? So I have to zoom in now. I have to totally commit myself and zoom in. And you can see, for me, I always studied the background of the noise. And for me, I'm noticing the color is now really turned into an orange color. And it starts, I would assume, that it's getting further away from me. It wasn't. It was actually approaching me, made a little bit of a right turn. But because of the background of the noise of the space-time of continuum and the vacuum, because of all this random noise around it, I knew it was dematerializing. I could barely even, get an image on it, and it goes right through these two orbs, UFOs. I mean, perfectly, symmetrical UFOs. These are not stars. Okay, it's this object here. Okay, one, and the other one's down there. And the second it goes through that, it's gone. It's like, I can't find it. It's just gone. So, man, that's just awesome. It's just awesome. And it was coming closer to me. And then all of a sudden it was like, what? It's like somebody turned it off. Somebody turned it off. And then it goes through these two UFOs right there, which I should have tracked, but they disappeared too. And then it's gone. Absolutely incredible. Again, I can upload this stuff directly. Okay. But let me know if you want that. But I'd like to do this so I can explain it. I want you to see the scale of the luminosity. I'm so happy I had a tree in the foreground. See it? Because it gives it some sort of scale. Probably a couple thousand feet in the air. And then I'm like, wow, it's not getting as bright as it used to. So I zoom in again. And when you see UFO or larger or greater consciousness system entities, I believe we live in a simulation, the light's always different than the lights that we have. It's like the light is not an organic light that you would see from what we create. But here comes the two UFOs. Goes right through the two UFOs. Those disappeared. I tried to find those next. And then obviously it's gone. Anyways, let's go to the next video. It's just doing this to me. I've got this special curtain to block out light. But when the air conditioning's on, never mind. This is a daytime anomaly. Okay, the sun did not go down until another 3 hours. So it was in the afternoon. There is something in the middle right here that's kind of floating around. It's transparent. It is. It's right here, and little unusual to see something this early before the sun's going down. Now, it was definitely in the afternoon, probably 4:35. Boom, and I just wanted to show you that, like, everything changed. What I noticed is that the camera's not out of focus. These entities are purposely transparent because they're on some sort of a different plane or dimension. It's like there's a wall. There's some sort of invisible wall that these things preside in. And for me to find it, the only way I found it is because I created an electromagnetic toroid, which means I'm using my consciousness to create a field of energy, and I'm trying to get anything to be attracted to it. And during the daytime, you're not as successful, but this thing did approach it. And then it turns invisible for 1 second and then pops into our reality frame. Watch. Boom. There it comes out. and I was not able to keep it. I did lose it. It took it back. So when you create a field with your consciousness, it's electromagnetic energy and information. You can connect with it, whether it's the daytime or the nighttime, because you have to understand, in a probabilistic simulated reality, consciousness is fundamental. So the manifestation of physical objects is created through consciousness. Consciousness is primary. So I decided to use consciousness and explore consciousness through the display of the cosmos, which would be a pixel of a Planck length and Planck time, delta t of 10 to the minus 44. That's really small. So I decided to use the cosmos, or the sky, as my way of manifestation of physical reality. It's my way of creating physical reality through experiencing aerial phenomenon, glowing discs, flying objects, things that are supernatural, because in a simulation, your intention, your goodwill, your heart, your soul, your being level, whatever you want to call it, needs to be in line with the intellectual side of understanding living a simulation. Once those line up, then you can learn things and see things that you might not have ever thought was possible. But if you're going to sit there and use your intention to try to move the chair in your room and stare at your chair, for how many hours, watch, it's going to disappear. Very rare to find this during the daytime, guys. Pops in. Amazing. I got it. I'm zooming in. I'm happy. This is great. I'm great. They took it away. Anyways, but I got it, though. So I spent about probably 15, 20 minutes creating a funneling, like tornado-shaped toroid with the greatest consciousness system that I'm interacting with, and that thing got attracted to it because it's a source of energy from an IUOC and the greater consciousness. But I always chose the cosmos and the UFO topic for the simulation because everything is about uncertainty. If you're going to try to use your intention to move an apple off a table or knock down a chair with your thought, the probabilistic chance of that happening is 1 in quadrillions and billions. Now, you might have a good intention. Gee, I want that apple to get off the table. Great, that's all fine and dandy. But even though your intention might lower that chance by about 1 or 2 degrees magnitude, it's still never going to really happen because you lowered it from 100 trillion to 10 trillion, And then from 10 trillion, maybe you lowered it to 999 billion chance. It's just not going to happen. But if you look at what is uncertain, UFO topic is uncertainty. The sky has all these mysteries. Nighttime sky, that's a canvas of complete uncertainty. So when you believe in a simulation, not only with your heart, but with the intellect, and you want to experience and you have a pure good intention, you will experience, because the level of uncertainty, in the display of the cosmos and the daytime star is through the roof. But what's the level of uncertainty of an apple being on a table that you put there? What's the uncertainty of things being in your room? What's the uncertainty of you finding your house? Gee, larger consciousness system, I don't want my house to exist. I believe in a simulation. I know consciousness is fundamental in physical reality. I want my home to disappear. It's not going to happen. That's kind of silly. But when you ask for experiences from the canvas of the sky, and you're looking at it from an anomaly standpoint, there is huge uncertainty. What's the point? The point is this. You can move by your intention in a simulation if you believe with your mind, intellectually, and your heart, the being level. You can move the degrees of magnitude, the order of magnitude, 7 or 8 degrees of magnitude, not just 1, 7 or 8. Because there's so much uncertainty with the UFO aerial phenomenon, unexplained aerial phenomenon. There's so much uncertainty in that canvas of the cosmos that you can actually manifest physical reality in the air, in the sky, because there really aren't any rules up there, guys. The rules really exist with the three-dimensional objects stuck to this two-dimensional plane we call gravity. Yeah. So you can will your way and intent your way to try to make your table flip upside down. Ain't going to happen. It's not. But if you chose wisely and said, well, I'm using my intention at the sky at night when nobody's watching, but yet I'm going to record it, right? Then that's a whole different ball game. I'm teaching you guys a big secret. It's all about the uncertainty. I can change the degree of magnitude in the cosmos, in the sky that I'm looking at, by orders of magnitude. And those of you who know physics, okay, you're talking 5 to 6, 7 times the orders of magnitude, because its uncertainty is so high that it's not even a comparison to look at an object that's in your room that you want to move with your eyes and your head and your consciousness. So pick a different canvas. Go in the sky. You'll have more success. Okay, what I'm going to show you next is me picking a spot in the nighttime sky, preferably when the sun just went down. And I'm going to be creating a tornado-like field with my mind, my consciousness, focusing at the sky, and I'm hoping to attract a star, a nice big bright one. Boom! Comes into the reality frame. That was behind my frame. You know, people don't realize how powerful you are. You live in a simulation. That means that we can do things with our consciousness that you cannot do if this was a physical, objective reality. You can't. One more time. And this is immediate. I just, doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes I get nothing. Comes from behind me. Boom. I showed you a bunch of those last week. It doesn't stay in my frame. Somebody asked me, why don't you follow it? You don't follow it because the whole point of it is you got to leave your camera still. If I went ahead and followed this thing, then that means I'm moving my camera all over the place and zooming in and out like a maniac. No, you got to commit to the spot. Create the field and interact with the field, and then manifest physical reality to either be attracted to it or create your own. Yeah, your own luminary. It's possible. Sometimes at work, I get an opportunity to go out there with my camera very quickly. All right, and I get to try to see if I can catch, an anomaly flying by. Now the sun is still out; it's just about to go down. A little risky, but put it up there anyways. Felt good. Had a nice toroid right away. I was looking at that patch of sky for at least 10, 15 minutes before I even got my camera ready to go. And boom, from the side, bottom left, comes up, goes around the toroid, right here in that middle part. That's where it's connecting. And I think it was gone after that. Yep, that's it. Again, can't follow it. That's not part of the process. It comes in and then it comes out. That's the deal with the greatest consciousness system. Don't be following these things. So once I get a green light to do that, maybe I'll do it. I could if I wanted to, but no. The point is to create the field and manifest in a physical attraction to a star to come into your frame. This is a place where I work. It's behind it, where I work. And I've been filming there for so long that it's kind of like my supernatural hub. But this is something that is going to be very, I think, interesting to some people. I'm just going to go ahead and press play. It's me walking. And I see a star next to that light. I don't really care about that, but I shot up, okay? All right, did you guys see that? Did you see what just happened there? Okay. Let's take our time, because remember, in this type of work, if you really love what you're doing, you have to be analytical, and you also have to be right-brained. You have to have the analytical, which is the meticulous part of going through everything, looking at it, analyzing what's the meaning behind it. Most of the time, there isn't probably any meaning, but there are some really, really great diamonds in the rough here. You just have to take your time and study it. There was something bizarre that happened, and that was because of a feeling. That's why I went over there. So as this goes up, okay, look at the building. Okay, stop, freeze. There is no star there. There is no star. That's the edge of the building. There is no star there that's supposed to be there. Here's your slow motion. Bang. Okay, we can do this again. Sorry for the brightness. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice shooting, Tex. Take our time. I'm just going to, for some reason, pan the camera straight up. Okay, there you go. There is no star there. Once again, there is no star there. Now, you can't tell me the stars aren't out yet because you just saw one next to the lamppost out east. And the sun has just set. That was strange. Okay, so I pan up. Here's the corner of the building. That's in focus, right? Unbelievable. Why is this air conditioning coming on and off every 2 minutes? Okay, right? No problem. So let's just go ahead and hit slow-mo. Bang! Yay! Oh, is that because I zoomed? No, the side of the building is right there. Uh-oh. We got a corner of a building? Oh, okay. Wait a second here. There's the corner of the building. And now we have a star there. So for the people to say, that's because you moved the camera, Mr. Houdini. Or, hey, David Blaine, that's because you zoomed in real fast and zoomed out and blah, 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 blah. There's the corner of a building. So unless I can move a building, I don't know. How many degrees of order of magnitude I got to do that in a simulation? It's not going to happen. Hey, dear God, I would like to remove the entire Gulfstream Plaza, which is probably about 5 million square feet. So when everybody goes to work, there's no building there because I have a good intention and I'm a right brain, left brain, individual unit consciousness living inside a simulation. I'm aware of that. Please make the entire shopping mall disappear. Or how about this? How about you move the shopping center, but we'll just say the star was fixed. Is that better? Nuts. Not there, guys. Oh, no. Look at this. That's something that most people would have deleted. That's something most people probably wouldn't even filmed. You got to be crazy like me. Well, I don't think they're even my thoughts half the time when I'm doing these things. I do that. I mean, in some way, I've been chosen to do this. I have been chosen. There's no doubt about it. And I'm being helped. That's it. I can't tell you I'm being helped. So Dr. Tom Campbell, I love you. You're my inspiration, but you're wrong. You can prove that you live in a simulation. The larger consciousness system, I call it the greatest consciousness system, told me that. Okay? So, that star wasn't there before. No, it wasn't. Let's get to that corner of the building. Oh, you stupid camera. Now try this. It's not there. There's the corner of the building. It has to zoom in and stop. It has to zoom in and stop. Not there. It has to zoom in and stop. It's not me zooming. I'm not doing the zooming here. The star is flying. Because you know why? It's just a random thing I did. I just panned up for some reason. I don't know. Maybe because I'm crazy. Houston, we have a problem here. We have no star in the fucking sky. Which one is it? It's Alpha Centauri. That's a pretty big problem. Here it is in real time. Ooh, bang! Put on the brakes. Spaceballs, everybody. Ludicrous speed, go. Put the brakes on. Oh, no, we're going too fast. I don't care. Put the brakes on. Dark Helmet smashes his helmet. Thank God he wore that. He would have been dead. Yeah, I think it's light speed, then it goes ridiculous speed, ludicrous speed. This is like, if you think that's an airplane, then you should be hanging out with Stephen Greer. Okay? All right, we got it. Yay! Yeah. All right, I just proved that you live in a simulation. And the guy who figured out we live in a simulation, but actually proved it, this is my fantasy. The award goes to Michael Cody. He proved that we live in a simulation, but he died 150 years ago. So we'll put this on his grave because he was way ahead of his time. He's even more ahead of his time than Elon Musk, and he's an alien from the future. There you go. There's your star, everybody. Yay! Wasn't there before. This is another UFO that flew by and dematerialized. Really just, it hit itself behind the shield. As you can see, it's the same one, basically. This one is a pinkish white color again, but and they fly right at me. And it's a light that is so beautiful. It's unreal. And it's, it feels very personal to have these. This one's a couple thousand feet. And as you can see, here's something I want to distinguish. When I say dematerialize, I want you guys to understand that these entities are not necessarily not there anymore. They're fourth dimension. So you have to understand with fourth dimension, when I can see electromagnetic fields, I've learned this from seeing these fields. We have an XYZ axis, and in a simulation, three-dimensional space is a calculation. It's a formula. You give a Y axis, an X, and a Z, a certain numerical value, and in that box, you have whatever shape you wanted, right? In a multi-dimensional simulation that has fourth dimension, right? Imagine seeing other XYZ axes, but they're invisible and they're right next to the one that we see. We're confined to one XYZ box. Everything we see has got to fit in that box, but what we don't notice is there are actually other ones above it, below it, and underneath it, and diagonal that are other XYZ axes that also can produce three-dimensional objects, but they're not visible in our spectrum. They're not noticeable. We can't see it. We're not really able to interact with it. But what they're doing is they're actually taking the invisible axis and they're just putting it in front of the axis that we can only see. So everything we have in a 3D world is XYZ axis, and that's what we can observe. That's what our senses tell us. But there's more of them that you cannot see that are out of our box, that are invisible. And when they come in, they can hide, they can split up, they can mirror, they can do whatever they want. Okay, so what this entity is really going to do is it's using the blackness of space-time as a blanket. It's not that far away, but what has happened is another XYZ axis from the fourth dimension has just shifted with the blackness of the space-time around you, and it comes in front of it. So what it's doing is it's going underneath a blanket. It's going underneath another XYZ fourth dimensional space-time continuum that you can't fathom and understand because it's out of our box. I only know that because I've seen it. I've seen it. I was allowed to see it. It's amazing. I didn't know that. That's the easiest way I can explain fourth dimension. So they, in essence, can actually see through our walls and see underneath our feet, and they can create multiple illusions of us. They could split me in half. They could even they're tinkering with our 3D perspective. So we only have that one three-dimensional box for everything. They have many of them. So really what this does is it's not that far away. It just slips behind a fabric or blanket of nothingness. It's gone. So they're all the same. Comes out of nowhere as usual. Flies right over my head. Not a plane, okay? If it was a plane, it would certainly last a lot longer than that. Huge glowing, guys, huge. Huge glowing lights. Huge. And you know what? Honestly, they're just for me. They're just for me because nobody reports these around me. Nobody. And it's gone. That's it. Shouldn't be gone. Should be lasting a lot longer than that. Clear sky. There's a clear sky. It's not clouds. No, it gets erased through the fabric of another XYZ axis in that space-time continuum. Okay? But it's not our space-time. We can't comprehend it. I can only because I've seen it. Otherwise, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I apologize for this video being long. This is the last clip I'm going to show you. I'm getting a little tired. I have so many videos, guys, and it's very hard for me to go back in the archives and look up everything. Anyways, this video is minutes and minutes long. It was around 3-minute marker. I'm going to go ahead and press play. What I do sometimes is I enjoy trying to get multi-stars. Shut up, grandfather clock. You're killing me. Shut up. I try to get multi-stars in my frame if I can keep them in a certain focus. But it's hard. Anyways, I'm studying stars and then bang. Look at the bottom left. Yes, 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 yes. The glowing spherical shaped object flew into my frame. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to come across with an ego because I know the larger consciousness system puts me in my place every time I expel that onto people. For this thing to be literally, I don't know how many thousands of feet above my head, for me not to be able to notice that coming my direction is impossible. So I'm kind of, I used to ask a question. The question was, dear larger consciousness system, my God, am I seeing these glowing, beautiful, spherical, disc-shaped objects that are so close to me? I think this thing might have been at maybe 2,000 feet in the air. I don't know. I mean, am I seeing these because of the effort I'm putting into it, or am I really being helped? Well, this answers it because I had no idea this entity on the top here was going to come into my frame. None. There's your answer. I've asked that for years. Okay? I'm being helped. I'm being helped. I can't believe that happened. I'm 3 minutes into this video. I didn't even see it coming. You want to know why? It got dropped from the sky. It came from above. It didn't come from the horizon. So here I am focusing on a triangle there. Those are 3 stars. I like to map out the stars. I like to film them. It's my passion. And of course, the anomalies come up, and this thing comes out of nowhere. And I'm sitting here saying, how does Mr. I can see electromagnetic waves and fields sometimes not notice something that's 5 times brighter than the space station? That's a UFO, fly right over my fucking head. How does that come into my frame? The scope of degrees is somewhere around maybe 4 degrees of space, the moon being a half a degree. That's how narrow my focus was. This thing did not come from the horizon to the left. It was dropped below and put right into my frame. That's a gift. That's a gift. Beautiful and huge, just gigantic. They're not satellites, I promise you that much. They're huge. God, I wish I could show you guys these things live. And going right past me, just whizzing by. So close you could touch them. So just imagine going out there and, you're an astronomer, right? And there you go. It gets blanketed. It goes back into the blanket. Not necessarily dematerializing, but it goes back into the blanket. So imagine, being an astronomer and you got this telescope and you're focusing on this one patch of sky, and it's like, here you go. Here's a gigantic plasma UFO that's, how many feet? Maybe a half a mile long. No big deal. And it really was. It really was. Here's another 30 seconds back. I'm trying to see if there's any more stars that are going to be created. And I'm trying to catch more creation of stars right on the spot. And I had no idea this UFO was there, or the entity, the larger consciousness. I had no idea. I'm like, what the hell is this? Not a plane. And it flies right by a very big prominent star. It could have been like twins. Right? Pretty cool. All right, say goodbye. Look how slow it is, guys. It's so slow. So slow. And I always like to do a zoom in. There you go. Nope. No plane. No balloon. No blimp. It's a glowing, spherical shaped object. The bubble and the sphere are the most efficient way of creating an object and giving it the most durability, giving it the best physics. It's the perfect shape in the world that we live in. And that's why these things are created as spheres. Now, when this thing wants to take off and move, it compresses the sphere and it gives the illusion, it gives the perception it's a disc. It's still spherical, but when it's going real fast or making a turn when the sphere condenses and flattens out. And that's just basic aeronautical. It's just basic physics for aerodynamics. UFO Mike Cody, thank you for watching my videos. Have a nice day. You live in a simulation. Bye.